Welcome back to your reading for those of you with the intention to allow soul contracts to close out. We add this intention to the energy of Jupiter and Neptune conjunction. It happened 2 days ago. These energies are still here. And to make it even more stronger, I'm going to use the energies of the full moon that's going to happen in another 2 days in Libra. And only now I see that the card that we associated with the intention, it was called the moon. And now we just talk about the full moon. So I think it's very appropriate to use both energies for this reading. The card is from the Weaver's Oracle. It's a very beautiful deck or travel guide into the archetype of women. And the cards are organized in tribes, like the vertical strings of a loom. And each tribe then also has clans, and these are the horizontal strings of the cloth that we are creating as weavers. And this particular lady here, she is from the South Weavers tribe. We have 4 tribes, and from the Bone clan. Their old name, Udigan, I hope I pronounce it well. This is the Udigan of the human heart. So the name is rooted in Arctic landscapes and means grandmother, elder, healer, wise woman, or witch. It describes women whose shamanism lies in the strengthening of heart fire wisdom. And we see that she has her tools, the one that are creating the pattern, the wooden jar, the mirror of water and flame, and the human heart drum. In the old wooden jar that sits so quietly at the center of this tale, it fulfills in containing the light of the whole cosmos. The mirror of water and flames serves to reflect and intensify that light, and the Udigan has a single purpose in channeling light out from her jar, the protection and nourishment of the human heartbeat. Coming back to the intention that we had for the reading, the intention was to close up contracts, soul contracts. We all have the free will. So even if we agree to have something going on in our life with another soul, the other soul just has the choice not to do it anymore. So we can close a contract when it's fulfilled, but we can also close a contract when the other soul involved, other souls involved, are not eager to fulfill the agreement. We know that even when you buy a house or whatever type of contract you sign, there is also a clause there, what happens if it's not going the way it was planned to go. So closing up contracts, a kind of releasing mostly of the things that we feel like they were supposed to happen, but then some of the actors in this play decided to change the role. And it can also be that these soul contracts are coming from other lifetimes. So this is why I decided to work with the Akashic record deck for this reading, because some contracts are from other lifetimes, maybe memories than we have. And if we think of this, even this card, that these are so ancestral stories, and they are still in us, they live in us. And this is maybe also part of the soul contracts that we have. And now it's a good time and a good energy, not only with this conjunction or the full moon, but generally speaking, it's time for us to clear up our contracts. Before I'm going to pick up a card from the Akashic record, I'm just going to mention a story that it's from a book called Beneath the Moon, but is associated with the Three of Wands. I also love it because it's a Romanian story, The Enchanted Pig. It's a story about how hard sometimes we have to struggle in order to fulfill a soul contract. And this story is about a girl who was the daughter of a king, and the king told his daughters, that he had 3 daughters, that never to go in a certain part of the castle because there is a room where they are not supposed to enter. And of course, when the king was not at home, the girls decided to open the door of the room, and in the room there was a book, and in the book it was a prediction of the future. And 2 of the girls were very happy with what they found in the book, but the youngest girl read there that she's going to marry a pig. And then she became very unhappy because, that's maybe one of the reasons we don't need to know our future. It's better not to. But my personal reason will be that we are creating our future. So the moment we even read a story like that, then we start believing in it. But the point is, from our perspective of the reading today, maybe that was her soul contract. And then it ended up marrying a pig. And in the night, he was a man, and in the daytime, he was a pig. So at one point, the woman had a little bit enough of, and she asked an old woman for advice, and the woman told her to put a wire around the skin of the pig in the night, so in the morning her husband cannot put it on anymore. And this is what she did without knowing. Of course, the old woman was a witch, and the witch was the one who cursed the man, and the intention was to keep him under the spell. The husband was very upset, telling her, you destroy our future together because now you did something you were not supposed to do in our soul contract, and this spell was off in 3 days, but now because you did this and you saw me before the time came, I have to leave. And then actually the longer part of the story goes about how hard it was for her to find him back. She managed in the end. She was not willing to let go. I remember as a child, used to have some records, and this was one of the stories that somehow made me feel uncomfortable. And I think it was because it showed me that the struggle to get what you really want in a way. But I didn't get the part that she lost what she was supposed to have because she was impatient. She wanted to change it. Coming back to our allowing soul contracts to close out, it's not necessarily somebody's fault. Let's put it simple like that. And especially yesterday, I had to think of this kind of energetical parasites that I and everybody maybe creates without even being aware of. When we think too much of a situation, we keep on thinking of something. We should have done that. We should have said that. And this creates a kind of bubble of energy that stays around us, but also stays around the other person, I suppose. It's good to clean that up. Let it go and cut those wires that are so thin, but in the end they are very strong, and they just steal our peace. And I suppose it also steals the peace of the other person on the other side of the wire. So by saying that, let's go to the 3 elements of this pattern from the card, and we start with the wooden jar, the one that keeps the light of the whole cosmos. And see, unwind, that just said all this energy that we are spreading around us, it has to clear up, release and let go. Allow anxiety to unwind and gently melt away. Notice as the knots along your spine unspiral and relax. Experience your body at peace and your mind at rest. Take several deep breaths as a deep, deep calm sinks into your bones. I found this very profound, and I'm also thinking of the technique, with tapping, that could also help tell ourselves, despite the fact that my soul contract and it didn't happen, I still love and appreciate myself. And by telling this to ourselves, it's also a way to find a kind of closure and release and let go. For the next element, the mirror of water and flame that serves to reflect and intensify the light that we had in the wooden jar, surfacing. Everything has to come up to surface like this. You can look it in, I think this is the idea, like bubbles coming up. Wow, this is what really, if we allow them, they will all come up and then we clear them up. Travel down into the depths of your unconscious to recover the lost gems and hidden treasure of your soul. Before you delve within, set your intention for the journey and call on your guiding light to illuminate the way. Wow, the guiding light. Navigate the shadows and quickly gather what you seek. Surface with your renewed vitality and the essential tools for healing the self. So this is the mirror and the flame that can intensify the light that we get from releasing and then clear up even more. And this Udigan has a single purpose in channeling light out from her jar, the protection and nourishment of the human heartbeat. And this is it. Fun and very powerful cards. It's the first time I'm using this deck, but I really get chills when I see them. And I see faces here and wow. Ancestor storm. Through the veils of time, your ancestors are calling, howling on the winds in the restless dance of the storm, riding on the rain and whispering to you in your dreams. Perhaps you have forgotten their names, but they have not forgotten you. Your bloodline stands with you now. Feel their support at your back. From the invisible realms, they reach out to clear obstacles from your path and light the road before you. Give gratitude for their persistence in your life and know that when you call upon your ancestors, they will surely answer. Wow, even the colors are complete in this image now. So of course, these contracts can also be connected to our parents, our ancestors, even at, at the based on the land we are born. So many wires that keeps us in a way connected with each other. And the way to do it is by using love. The result will be actually a kind of expression of love. The sound is love. Love which roses, impels, and gives purpose to the dreaming of our human heart, because love remains the most difficult to explain emotion. We are oceans creating in many harmonious and layers by our emotional deep waters. And we do this or closing of contracts also because we love ourselves first of all, and we love our energetical body and bring up the colors of the rainbow in our body, which is a rainbow body. This card can be also associated with third eye. The colors are still the same. The colors associated with a third eye, very much that, and of course even the one of the moon. The card from the chakra deck, it's called Despondence. It's about Violet Iris. She was depressed and unable to look after herself or her home. She cries out to the great spirits for help. Mother Earth appears and suggests Iris showers, eat a good meal, and clean up her house. She does it, but still feels not good. Suddenly, a hurricane hits and Iris springs into action to rescue her neighbor's children. In the urgency, Iris finds the way out of depression by taking action. She was not able to find peace in herself, but when it was about others, she managed to come in action. This is about the parts in our life when we feel like we are stuck and we know in a way what we need to do, but then we need to trust ourselves that we can do it. And she looks for advice from Mother Earth and Mother Earth helps her, or our ancestor, to end up with some stories about the full moon that it's coming, and it's about focusing on your own wants and needs. It's understandable. We all need to look after ourselves. However, this card suggests you need to find a balance between what you need versus what someone else needs. Walk a mile in their shoes. Once you understand where they are coming from and why, you can take action. It's good to have this in mind, the balance between our needs and other people's needs. It's a win-win outcome if we do that. I think it's a good point here about putting us in walking in other people's shoes. Maybe it's easier to close some contracts if we try to understand why people did what they did. They had their reason. They are on their own path. They have the right to make their own choices. And wherever we thought we agree, or we felt it maybe as our higher self is telling us, but this is, the contract, the soul contract. But if the other person is not there yet, it's not capable to communicate with her of his higher self, then it's good for us to walk in their shoes, see where they are on their path. She fights here for her soul contracts to accomplish. That's also a possibility. And if not, you can end up in depression and feeling unhealthy. So it's always a choice. If we make the decision from a space of love, what feels good for us, and we raise our vibration to that level in which we are willing to accept whatever comes. And this full moon, it's also the planting moon, preparation. The seed has sprouted, life is flowing and growing wild. Now it's the time to focus and temper your energy. Prepare your garden so your dreams can grow. The planting moon brings you back to earth. Get your hands dirty and weed your garden spiritually and literally. For most of us who are celebrating Easter, it's this special week of preparing ourselves, focusing on clearing up our garden, but especially our inner gardens. And from the Celtic perspective, this full moon, it's called the potent moon. This is the card of vitality and life force. It can indicate good health and things going well, and points out that these things come from a healthy relationship with everything around you. It is this harmony of environment that supports vigor and growth. The potent moon also suggests the need for grounding. Connect to the earth. It's the main message. To end the reading, I will take one card from the botanical deck. Of course, my favorite flower. First emotion of love. Love is the magician that pulls man out of his own head. The whole pattern that we created was about love, the human heart, and we end up with love. I wish for all of you to feel again the first emotions of love from a space of having a clean garden, at least spiritually, and then your vibration will be high enough to find love for yourself. Thank you for watching.